Hello, everyone. Well, and staying safe. These are some really weird times for us. And we are almost entering the second half of 2020, but the last 6 months have been almost a blur. Over the last few months, we have seen so many things change. And talking particularly about people and shopping, there has been a massive shift in the way people are shopping right now. We what used to be a quick visit to the store and you just pop a step out of the house. It now requires a proper plan and thought before even taking any action. People right now prefer online shopping more than before, and not just b2c buyers, but also the b2b buyer. They would rather have a self-serve online store than go and call up uh, with no visibility into the status of the order. So that is something which is a major change that's come with consumer preferences. But what is it exactly that motivates people to make these purchases? In a survey, it was found that 86% of buyers are willing to pay a 25% premium if they receive a better experience for it. Now, they want to buy from the comfort of their home. They want home deliveries. They want contactless experiences, or they want to order online and pick up curbside. But they will not hesitate uh, before looking at the next option if the experience here is not at par with their expectations. In today's webinar, we will talk about how customer experience affects the three most important R's of the current scenario: revenue, retention, and resilience, and how integrating your e-commerce store with the ERP can help with this. The webinar will be focused majorly on how an omni-channel customer experience impacts your bottom line. What are the reasons for lapses in your customer experience journey, and how integrating your e-commerce platforms can inspire a cultural redesign towards innovation, collaboration, and enhanced efficiency. This will be a 45-minute webinar. If you have any questions, you can post them in the questions box that you can see towards the top right of your screen. And before moving forward, I just want to mention that Hazel could not be present today for the webinar. She was supposed to host the webinar, but she has taken ill and will not be able to talk today. However, our dearest Durga has stepped in at the last moment to ensure that we do not have to make any changes to the webinar schedule. I would like to introduce you all to Durga Prasad. He is the VP of Corporate Accounts at I-95 Dev. He comes with nearly 2 decades of IT solution sales experience and has handled everything from sales planning and strategy to new business development to delivery and account management. At I-95 Dev, he is responsible for global business development and account management, helping customers build effective and efficient e-commerce solutions leveraging I-95 Dev expertise, experience, and products. He is also helping a lot of the companies right now to navigate through the pandemic and helping them reconfigure their sales strategy. And now I hand over to Durga to take the webinar forward.
Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are keeping safe, away from all the crisis around you. And hopefully we all come across this safe and healthy without much disruption. We pray for your well-being and success. So with that, I will start this webinar. Like Swapnil has just mentioned, right product strategy, the right pricing matrix, the right kind of campaigns, the right kind of messaging. Of course, all this is quite important, and this is how business to run, where businesses used to determine or define what exactly the customer wanted and how they wanted. That was good enough for us until now, which is, of course, changing. So which is why in this slide you see that the customers had no voice earlier. And even customers were also concerned only about the benefits of their purchase, what kind of promotions they're getting, what kind of discount coupons are available, what kind of competitive pricing you are offering compared to others, and how quickly can you deliver and stuff like that. Those are mostly those purchasing, criteria or selection criteria why they would work with or buy from a certain vendor. They wouldn't mind store visits. They wouldn't. They might not have an e-commerce option always. We have seen, like in industries like accessories, where shoes or belts or some, customers still would want to go to a store, touch and feel, look for themselves, try on it, and then make a purchase decision. That used to be the way. Even many shoe companies used to struggle to be able to break even with all the e-commerce investment. And then experience, of course, did matter, but did not matter as much. If the product was there, if they have made up their mind they have to buy, if they were able to land on a certain page easily, all that they would expect is, to provide the details required to make a purchase. But 2020, fortunately or unfortunately, with what has happened around, because we are in the e-commerce business, we see the bright side of it. The customers' demands have skyrocketed. Revenues have fallen because physical stores remain shut. Of course, there's a lot of everywhere we see, even in India, we see, in the US, we see that most of the cities are locked down. There is social distancing and also stay at shelter kind of, enforcement has been done upon most of us. So there is no option other than to buy some essentials or pharmacy products. Digital commerce, of course, is the new normal that allows us to stay at home, sit on our couch and decide what we need. It started with essentials as the right amount of purchase initially when the pandemic started, but if you see now, many industries have been seeing high customer demand. People are staying at home, they would want more to do. They're all vexed and bored staying at home. Some people are taking gardening, some people are taking hairstyling, some people are taking in many as hobbies and investing into it. All of a sudden, we now see a lot of demand for these e-commerce companies and who are selling products. So now the customer, thanks to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media websites, they are social media savvy. They get information at fingertips. They want an interactive and fun buying experience. Everything is connected today. Information is shared across platforms. They would want that information to be seamlessly traveling from one system to the other. Want ease of online purchase and home delivery. You don't want a customer to spend hours or long times to select their addresses, enter information, check how this whole thing works, validate if there is inventory, wait for you to confirm that yes, inventory is there in place and now you can place an order. This won't work. We all see how Amazon works. It's all near real time, right? You know what you're placing an order, if the inventory is available, how quickly it can be shipped to you, and then what you get. So, and they want to connect with the company and its value across multiple touch points and channels. We will talk a bit about unified commerce, but this is exactly the new normal now. This is what customers are behaving like now. So now we will just have a quick look at why enhance the customer experience. Because that's the, many companies are offering similar products, similar prices, and, many terms and conditions are almost similar to what a specific merchant is doing. But that one part which differentiates them from the competition could be customer experience, which can build customer loyalty and, the affinity organically. You're not really forcing them to do, but you're creating an environment for them to connect with that. So positive customer reviews that will help your business increase revenue via resale and upsell and earn new customers through referrals, word of mouth or referrals. So if you had a great experience on a certain portal and you know that one of your neighbor or your friend is looking for a similar product, you would refer this merchant's website, of course, right? Because you have had immense satisfaction or good experience navigating through the product, searching the right one and placing an order. So this experience thing is not something which you can take lightly. And rightly said, in the introduction, Swapnil mentioned that research says 83% of customers who have been surveyed have responded that they are okay to spend 25% extra, which is premium, to if the experience itself is of high quality. So we know now that we have to enhance customer experience. So now what is the customer experience here we are talking about? CX, right? So what does your customer feel about your product, your company, your service? That the experience of, it can be a lifetime, it can be for a moment, it can be only for a second. But the impression you create from the beginning, the word go, is going to stay with that customer for a long period. And if you have had this a store like Amazon, you're going to be connected emotionally and through your products and services with the customer for a very long period, which is one of the mantras what Amazon or any other big website in successful e-commerce operations banks upon. So better experience is equal to better revenue. So of course, 86% says they want to pay more. 68% say consumers are more likely to go ahead with their purchase due to a positive review. They want to, you would want to quickly scroll down on a product page and see what kind of reviews people are leaving about a specific product or a service or the warranty or after sale support, things like that, right? It's just not the product you're worried about. It's about the journey with that product, which is also very important for a customer. And mostly when it comes to expensive and long duration products. Consumers agree, 97% of them agree that their experience influences their purchasing decision. You are not able to provide search easily. Consumer comes onto your website and then searches for a product. And then there is no intelligence there. There is no suggestive keywords there. It's a plain search box, which throws every result which has the keyword. And now if you have 1 million products you're selling, how would you expect the customer to browse through? So, and how would you define the parameter there for you to be able to give the right result? So if you're able to track a lot of data, if you're able to track his behavior, if you're able to, intelligently maneuver through that pattern and be able to throw the right kind of results, it will excite him. It took only like few seconds for him to reach the product page he wanted to. In the first 1 minute, if he's not convinced that you have the product, he's going to drop off from your website and move it. Similarly, what will happen if the checkout process is too long? Or what will happen if your rendering process is too long, where you're trying to go pick up the inventory and not showing the result if that product is available or not? And then also there are certain times when experiences like you have placed the order went through, then you receive an email that the item is out of stock and it cannot be delivered. How many times it happens? And then it puts you off and then you wouldn't want to go back to that website again. So these are certain experiences which influences the purchasing decision or the loyalty or the amount of time the customer is going to be loyal to you, or he's going to come back and buy again. All this depends on what kind of experience you provide. And then if you are able to provide better experience, of course, you will be able to retain your customers. Not only that, you will have customers themselves refer new customers, and then you will increase your subscriber base. Better experience is resilience. Now, business owners believe that they will be competing mostly on CX in a few years. Of course, they already started doing it. It's not in a few years. Uh, we as Magento and e-commerce agencies, we have seen customers put more emphasis on CX than they used to do a couple of years back. They have questions, where they ask, what kind of personalization would you do for a specific customer and their demographics? How would you know who that person is, where he's coming from, and then create that experience which is very relevant to them? If a person is old age person, you would not want flashy colors and then small fonts and stuff. You would want to create which is more clear and readable to them, and which is much more simple. And similarly, you would have separate experience for an youngster. And then what kind of product information are you providing, and what kind of customer intelligence are you giving back to the customer, that we know so much about you, your preferences, your choices, and then build that experience for him. So when every customer or a merchant is trying to put more and more emphasis on CX, and then he's trying to build a better experience, others will lose out if they don't really put effort into it, which is why this point says that going forward, you will have merchants not fight on the price or product quality, or of course they will be there, which is why the product will be sold. But who gets the sale will be determined based on the aspect that who has better experience being provided to their customers. Now, let's see what contributes to a great customer experience. This is vital. One of the aspects is like, do you have a system or a model or a method to receive and process customer feedback or customer requirements? Are you providing yourself or within your company the insights on what kind of experience they're expecting, and then how are you actually working on creating that experience? Do you have emotional connection to engagement and personalization? So you would have to review your starting from homepage till the checkout. If the content you have created, if the designs you have created, will that offer an emotional connection? And then, are you able to meet customers wherever they are? There may be many touch points. It's just not a website. There may be a trade show. There may be a retail store. There may be a Facebook shop or a Google shop. There may be many avenues where the customer is trying to make a purchase. Maybe going on Amazon because it's easy for him. He has Amazon pay balance or a gift coupon, but still wants to place an order from your store. So still he should be able to gather enough information about himself on that store and to be able to place an order for your product through Amazon, which is if your product is being listed as a seller there. And committed and energized workforce to make things happen. Do you have that kind of a team to make this happen? Are they constantly, dissecting and slicing and dicing that information so that more insights can be provided and specific campaigns can be created or points to create that kind of an experience? The most common challenges faced by businesses when maximizing customer experience. If you want to provide great experience, it's just not design aspect. Don't take it as experience as what kind of HTML designs you have put in place, what kind of GUI have you created, banners and videos and stuff. That's one part, of course. It has to align with the customer's demands or the demographics. At the same time, lack of viable real-time information about the product, real-time information about a price. Let's say there are 3 stores offering a discounted price and you're not yet offering that. How would you know? There are tools which gives you comparison of various prices on various stores. Do you have that kind of a system? Are you gathering that intelligence? Disparate systems, disconnected systems. So you have some sort of data on an ERP and some sort of information on the e-commerce platform, some on the POS. So if it's not a unified commerce system, you will have a lot of disparate systems not talking to each other, which means information is not shared across, and then the promotional items or promotional stuff you want to offer to a specific customer at a POS level will not be repeated at the website. The customer will feel lost. Is this the same company I'm trying to place an order with? So managing multi-channel platforms, there are different types of platforms, different systems. The biggest problem is how do you manage all of this together, and being able to provide single source of truth for any information pertaining to one single customer. If you are able to do that, and if you maintain records and consistent information about a customer across, and nurture that relation with that customer across the channels, you will create an experience saying that you have great standardization, and you know your customer well, and he's welcome at all avenues the same way he's being done in a store. So things like that also matter a lot when it comes to how to maximize customer experience. So this gives to the actual solution, leads to that, where digital integration is the solution. If you are able to bring all systems together, there is a bespoke model, there is EDIs, there is pull and push methods, there are API, web interfaces and API models using web services. You integrate various systems and let them talk to each other. Nothing but you're letting information being synchronized between all systems, and real time you're able to process it. If I'm placing an order for a television, and if the inventory is not available, it will show before even I place an order that it is out of stock. The moment it comes in stock on an ERP, someone pushes that inventory into the ERP. If the integration is there, immediately you will have that information changed on your e-commerce that it is back in stock. But the last product has been sold, and then someone has forgotten to update it in the e-commerce, and there is no integration. The customer will still go ahead and place an order only to see that it never went through. It's bad experience, right? And when you're talking about millions of customers coming and going, and 85% of your people are abandoning carts or not coming back and placing an order, this is all happening because you have provided bad experience. So it's just not integrating systems will help you do that. It's one part, of course, but normally agencies suggest to have an UX, a user experience kind of a process where workshops are conducted and understood from various stakeholders. What are the touch points and how information is being lost or being processed, and you're creating better experience. It's a long exercise. After conducting such workshops, after creating a lot of workflows and diagrams, after assimilating a lot of data which has been accrued, and then decisions are made how to create those templates, workflows, systems integrations, product details, what kind of information has to be submitted or presented, and how it has to be presented. Do we have to change the workflow or the business model? How uniqueness we have to bring into the system. This is a different aspect, of course. But for now, for the time's sake, we will just focus on the digital integration, where if we are able to bring all systems together, one, you're looking at creating an omni-channel or a unified commerce experience to your customers. And you will be able to manage your channels, you'll have access to real-time data for customers, orders, products, prices, inventory, shipping, you name it. And then when you want to make a change, when you want to implement any change into the system, it becomes much more easier because you know the relationship between the systems and what kind of impact it would create if one system is changed because of the integration. And then you would, of course, save a lot of time and effort. Both the total cost of ownership can be reduced quite drastically. You wouldn't need, people to actually manage every information detail between systems. It is all being done automated manner. And then a cost-effective, high ROI. So whatever you would spend initially to bring all these systems together, you would see that you are going to acquire that back in maybe 3 or 6 months. You don't have to wait for years to see that whatever you have invested in getting these systems integrated, you have to wait for 1 year or 2 years to bring your returns back. So uh, because it pays for itself, you are reducing manual labor, you're reducing risk, you're increasing customer experience, which in turn brings more customers, and then those more customers can also lead to more new customers. All this is increasing revenue and reducing cost. So the ROI will be, realized much quicker than what you would otherwise assume. So we have worked with almost 180, 90 our customers. But a couple of case studies, of course, are very relevant to what we are speaking today. Gourmet Egypt, one of those few companies in this pandemic who has actually, increased uh, their sales from year on year, like about 90% from what they did last year. And then they decreased the amount of spam or junk traffic than before, because how secure they have created their platform, how stable and scalable application has been created for them, and 50% improvement in page load time. Uh, of course, when you're looking at user experience, you're looking at just not, as I said, the design, but the complete ecosystem. And one of the key factors of an ecosystem is what kind of infrastructure and hosting application you have. How are you hosted? What kind of services do you have? What clusters you have? And then what kind of load balancing models you have, so that concurrence of customers can be handled much more seamlessly and effectively. Things like that. So you have the right infrastructure, and you should also check, are you paying too much for it? So you can bring down the cost there. Similarly, there are many things what went well for Gourmet Egypt. Number one is what kind of marketing automation they have in place, how they have integrated their lead nurturing or contacts nurturing program into the e-commerce, and then are being able to provide insightful or intelligent campaigns or create them, because of which customers are able to know what's happening with this company, and then they're able to increase sales. Second, due to this pandemic and social distancing, people are placing orders more and more. And for that, they should be able to scale up to that kind of requirement. While having too many orders is good, you should have the inventory visibility. You should be able to manage the backend operations effectively. You should be able to have the right infrastructure and application strength to manage that kind of load, the increase in traffic. All this is also very important. So while we were working with Gourmet Egypt, it's been 2-3 years since we are working. Step by step, we have addressed each one of them. And by the time when this pandemic happened, we were so much ready to have any crisis to hit, technically or business wise. This application and the business was ready to, survive, in fact, grow. So this is a great case study when it comes to increasing user experience by bringing all systems together. A lot of data has been visible, that activities have been transparent, and inventory management has been optimized. And of course, collecting feedback from customers and then addressing those concerns has also helped this company to uh, grow even at this time. So that's exactly what I was talking about. We created a unified commerce application for them. We centralize all commercial activities to one single secure location, integrated to other platforms, where we are talking about centralizing, personalizing, and validating everything. So which leads to great customer experience. Similarly, one more customer we worked with is Trail Gear, where we have been helping the customer in creating the website experience, better experience for the website customers, and how scalable it could be. And then the whole business process has been automated to full optimum. So they also were doing decent business, but with all the kind of investment they have put in with our suggestions or our IT teams working with them, we were able to increase their traffic and reduce the abandoned carts, because we started providing detailed insights about each customer's, their requirements, and then also bring in information from various other sites, like what they're talking about these products, and then what kind of feedback, what kind of review, helping the procurement guys also of the company to address any product related challenges, and then rectify at that stage, not just about selling, but also about what is being sold. So all this is possible because the applications are all talking to each other, not just the internal applications, but any other external touch point, like, for example, Facebook or some third party websites where a lot of information is being shared through blogs or discussions or forums. Information from these kind of systems are also being brought in, and some data insights are being provided in how the pricing, how the product management is handled, and then how much inventory has to be stacked, what kind of seasons they have to look at, what kind of campaigns they have to create, what are the low periods, what are the high periods, and then how do they stack up inventory based on that. All this is possible when you have a single view of what's happening with your business, the right kind of dashboards, the right kind of system integration, the right amount of system integration, and then the processes which have been well oiled so that everything is working in order. So you need an agency like I95Dev to come in with all that decades of experience we have to help you understand where you're going wrong, and then try and first address that, and then put a strategy to grow from there. So just a quick slide about who we are. I95Dev is a next generation e-commerce agency specializing in Magento consulting. Magento is of course, one of the leading platforms in the e-commerce world, acquired now by Adobe, and ably supported by a Marketo, which is marketing automation tool, Adobe customer experience, and content management tool. All this together is a great suite of products, and Magento is an open source e-commerce platform. We work on Magento, provide consulting around that, and we design, develop, and integrate those e-commerce stores, and of course support them. We have about 250 employees working from India and US, and around 200 happy customers, out of which we have 60 of them continuously engaged with us on various projects. And the services we offer, there is consulting, where we help merchants strategize and consult. We help them with UI and UX, and then we also support them with digital marketing. And then Magento services, where we have implementation of the application. Because it's an open source platform, it allows you to add more code to it and then align it with the unique and independent workflows the companies have. So we will be able to customize it for you, in addition to just configuring the application, and then integrate it with various applications, backend systems like ERP, CRM, supply chain solutions, and stuff. We maintain and support that. We have a 24/7 support team. Able engineers are supporting our customers as we speak. Any migrations from various other platforms to Magento, or from Magento 1 to 2, those kind of migrations, yes. Customizations, I already spoke about it. Customizations also include bringing in various extensions. There is a marketplace created by Magento, where about 3,000 plus extension providers, which provide you certain features and functionality otherwise which is not there in Magento, altogether making it a much wholesome product. So our solutions experts have varied experience about these extensions which are out there on the marketplace. They can help our merchants identify the right ones and integrate it into their systems. We do audits and optimizations, audit for the work someone else has done, or audit even for the work we have done, and then try and provide what's going wrong, or help them rectify issues. Magento releases upgrades and patches quite often. We help our customers with staying afloat and tuned to that specific upgrade, and stay updated. We have admin support and training. And training covers both the technology aspect of it and a specific project, all the custom functionalities which have been created so that customers can do most of the work themselves without any tech support. And then the third service we have is around complementary solutions, which is supporting their ERPs, QA, analytics, and business intelligence. This is a quick slide about why I identified them. We have the experience, we are reliable partners, and the availability. Whatever is a preferred model for our merchants to work with us, we are flexible and available to follow those. This is a quick, client showcase, client slide. This is only a partial. Zoilo is an Indian customer owned by Aurobindo Pharma. This is a recent addition. That's all from my side. Please do shoot if you have any questions. I am more than willing, of course, to answer them. But before you start asking your questions, I hope you got a brief glimpse of what user experience is. And it's just not to do with design aspect, but it's to do with the experience from the word go when the customer has come to your website or the e-commerce platform. And from there, till the time he has checked out and has come back to your website to place his second order. So how are you trapping or collecting information throughout this journey and making your strategy, creating it so that you engage with that customer at a level that he stays loyal to you? So this includes systems integrations. This includes, design. This includes functionality which is required to create a seamless buying experience. All that. Whenever there is an opportunity for us to help customers define that, we will start with a workshop. We'll understand where you are today and where you want to be, and then what it takes for you to go there. Who is your customer? What are their demographics? Who is that personality? And create that experience based on those personas. So we'll understand those buyer personas and we create those circles of, buyer persona experience circles, and then start stitching together a detailed solution framework for relevant to your industry, relevant to your business and your customers. So that's where we come in and we'll help you do that. So now, open for your questions, guys.
Thank you so much, Durga. That was pretty insightful and really helpful. We hope that everyone over here got what they were looking for. We have a few questions that have been posted for you. The first is, what e-commerce changes should retailers make right now, specifically considering that we are in this new normal? What would you have to say to that?
There are a lot of changes, of course. First of all, e-commerce can even stop selling what they are selling, and they have to look at products which are actually being sold. Maybe stop everything and sell sanitizers. Jokes apart, you have to understand which kind of industry are you in. Are you a food and beverage company? Are you a grocery? Are you into essentials? Are you into consumer fast-moving products? So once you have realized where you are and what kind of demand you have for yourself, you got to, as an e-commerce provider or a retailer, you have to understand if your system has been created to handle that kind of a demand. So the changes is not just to do with the product mix or the sales strategy around it. Some people have issues with bringing down the cost because they are not able to make profits. While they have good amount of sales, they're not making enough profits because the expenditure to manage that amount of sales is quite high. That may be an issue. Some people don't have the orders, which is why inventory is not being sold, and a lot of bad stock. So that is another issue. Some people's visibility is not there, so people are not coming to their store. Some people have an experience issue. People are coming, but they're not placing orders. So for every problem, of course, there is a solution, but there is no one solution for all problems. So that has to be independently, individually looked into. If you want to connect with me offline and then talk about your problem, I'm more than happy to discuss with you. Don't consider this as a sales opportunity or sales related call. On a strategy side, I'll help you devise certain quick fixes and quick strategies so that you can implement one or two of them, see some benefits.
Thanks, Surka. Another question that we have over here is how important is headless commerce? Is it really, is it what we need to get ahead with customer experience?
Right. In fact, headless commerce is becoming fastly a new norm when it comes to performance and experience part, when these are the aspects we are discussing. And then the kind of speed and accuracy which it provides also is something which is quite encouraging. So, and for companies who have to maintain different stores, different systems, one for content, one for commerce, headless commerce is going to help them a lot. Yes, headless commerce is going to stay and then in fact improve than what it is today. And we are also doing certain amount of projects helping consumers. And in addition to just being headless, the progressive web app introduction into this model also allows to reduce the infrastructure costs or the development and maintenance costs of the applications. It's just like you have an icon on your mobile and you can start using it as good as an app. So the cost to maintain an app is not there, but at the same time, you're giving same kind of an experience, which is only much faster. So yes, headless commerce is a great thing. We are also doing great work out there. There's a lot of information being shared about it. Please do review that. And if you have more questions, we can really answer them.
Since we are at limit of time, we have a limit of time. We will be taking up the last question of the day. It is about B2B e-commerce. How important is customer experience for B2B, and what exactly should, what is the most important thing that one should take care of when it comes to B2B customer experience?
In fact, I am more of a B2B sales guy, and this is a question I keep getting in my sales calls also. But I understand user experience is not limited to just B2C or B2B, it's across the board. And in B2B, what happens is a company has certain amount of terms and conditions with each of their B2B customer. So, and then most of it is handled personally, right? Which is why most of the B2B organizations we talk to show some resistance to get on e-commerce. They say that personal touch is going to be lost. The personal interactions, the emotional connect we have could be lost. So we don't really want to get into that. They are now being forced to do e-commerce because, of course, what applies to a B2C also applies to the B2B due to this crisis. But at the same time, that experience can be provided. I'll give you an example about what we did with the auto manufacturer. They manufacture engine parts, and they're large truck engines, otherwise not being sold by the OEMs anymore. They're legacy truck engines. And this manufacturer has, capacity to do about $100 million in sales because he can only manufacture that much. He doesn't have a need to increase sales. And then when they first contacted, we were worried, why do you even want to do an e-commerce when you don't want to sell more? You're already selling, you're already making. So one of the things they wanted was to do, to achieve or accomplish was to reduce that total cost of ownership. They were spending too much money in managing these customers. But at the same time, they were cautious because they didn't want to spoil their relationships with their customers. They have established a certain amount of rapport, a personal connect with all these retailers or distributors, and they want to manage that. So the challenge here was for us to make sure that experience is brought, in fact, only improved, and at the same time, the cost is also reduced. There were a lot of workshops we have done. We have also brought in some dealers and retailers to talk about what their experience was. Some did give us points like why they don't want to go onto an e-commerce portal. The process is much more longer than what happens on a phone. Everything. After collecting and gathering all that data, we were able to create a system where today it's much more easier for someone to come, just tick on all those parts which makes that engine. You're using all the schematics of the engineered application, and then create what they want. They used to do a lot of suggestive interactions with the customer reps, because the customer reps were not as technical as the retailers themselves. And all this today is being done like a self-service model, because the system understands what the retailer wants. The customer rep was not that qualified. So the interaction between the system and retailer is much more advanced now, because of all the intelligence which has put into that system and all the data which it takes and then processes. So there was no problem with the experience. In fact, they're much more happier now. Customer is looking to add one more factory and a warehouse so that they can add more product lines, so they can sell more because the demand is there. And at the same time, there was a $3 to $5 million total cost of ownership to manage all these customers, B2B players, which has been brought down to almost 500,000 or so. Last I checked, it was 700,000. It could have been down much further now. So yes, user experience is very important. B2B players focus on it much more than B2C guys, because they have established contracts and contacts. They don't want to lose them. They can spend whatever they're spending now and still continue to do the way. But this pandemic is forcing them to bring those guys, place orders. Salespeople are not able to go reach out to them and then get purchase orders filled and signed. So this has to happen through systems, and it's cost effective, cheaper, and gives more. What should I say? In a B2B, for example, if you're able to provide all the promotional material which is important for them, the interaction which could happen between the manufacturer or a retailer and a retailer or a distributor could be much more seamless. So yes, B2B also needs user experience projects. They would have to invest in it. And if they do that, they will be able to not only retain their customers, but also help their retailers take more from them, buy more from them. Some of the manufacturers we work with, we have seen that the same distributor places order with not just our customer, but also few others. So after collating all the data, and he sees that what is the cheapest or what is the most quickest, he places an order, which means there is no guarantee that this person is going to place an order. There's always a possibility he might lose an order. So when you are having systems come in and then do the talking for you, the amount of data which you're collecting, the feedback, the patterns, the buying patterns, and then create a much better experience for him to go through, the procurement manager to go through and quickly place an order, you might create a better experience and retain those customers and beat your competition. So this is an important aspect. There's a lot of material which has been created, because B2B is the last division which is to adopt e-commerce, and they are also doing it now. Most of the projects we are doing in the last 3 years has been in the B2B world, and 80% of them are B2B customers, and we are creating complex systems for them so that they have a very sophisticated way of handling their end customers.
Thank you so much, Durga. That was pretty helpful. I hope they got their answer. There are some more questions we can take up at a later stage because, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we are limited by time. You were saying something, Durga. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't say anything.
All right. That was a pretty informative webinar so far. As we understood, that customer experience is something that is very important in today's day and time. People are willing to pay more when it comes to a better experience. And experience is not only what you see on the website, but also making sure that you are able to deliver on what you're promising. So we will be happy to take up any queries and any questions if you want to connect with us offline. And I'm pretty sure Durga will be happy to get on a call with you as well. You can reach out to us on i95dev.com and connect with us over there, and we'll definitely jump on a call. Thank you so much for taking out your time today, and it was lovely to have you here. Stay safe and stay healthy. It is a difficult time for all of us, and yeah, we will see you in another webinar in the coming months. Thank you so much. Signing off.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. Good day. Bye.
Bye.